All right, y'all. Greetings, 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 greetings. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful, y'all. I am your hostess and your melanated queen, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. I hope y'all have been having a wonderful week. Let me tell y'all what has been going on with me this week, y'all. Busy as ever. You would think that because school is out, I would have some downtime. Nope. Busy as ever. And we've been hitting 100-degree temperature, 100-degree weather. So try to make sure you all stay hydrated out here in this heat, y'all, because the sun will take a lot out of us. Okay. The sun takes away a lot of energy. Yes, it giveth energy and it also taketh away. So let's be very clear about that, y'all. I want to say thank you so much to all the supporters and the subscribers that have been tuning in to my channel, checking out my videos. I thank you all so much wholeheartedly for supporting Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Whether you like the video, share the video, um, whatever it is that you do, I appreciate you guys. All right. Now, right now, I am trying to find this live stream. I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. I was going to try to share it. So if you can do me a favor, share it with somebody who might be interested in watching. I don't know where the live stream is, y'all. I can't find it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to look for it. But okay, so I got it right here. I'm going to share. And I'm not going to be on here too long, y'all. I don't want to be on here too long because I have an open house tomorrow. So, with that being said, we're going to make this, quick, fast, and in a hurry, but we're trying to give you some quality content, okay? All right, and we might have a special guest joining us today, Gold Sugar. I think she might join us in the building, Fox Galaxy. I'm telling you exactly how I feel right now, tired and exhausted, busy, and I get literally no downtime, hardly any downtime whatsoever, okay? So that's what's going on with me. I hope everything's going okay with you all. Um, yeah. And I'm going to have some more behind the scene footage for y'all. It's just that, like I said, I'm super, super, super busy. I don't get hardly any time to do nothing. All right, let me turn my camera on. This is me. You can see I look a little tired. I should put some sunshades on. Okay. I wasn't looking like this earlier, I promise you. But y'all, I've been outside in the heat. I've been driving out here in this heat. I washed my hair earlier. So that's what you see going on right here. Okay, got my hair washed. What's good? What's good? We got a special guest in the building. Gold Sugar is here with us. What's good, Gold Sugar?
It's everywhere.
Hey, still
Hey.
got a little bit of background noise going on, so I'm gonna let you go ahead. Start it.
Yes, girl, I hear it. I don't know what's going on, but it's some stuff going on. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get into the madness. Let me start off by saying right now. So, I have been talking to y'all about my yard, right? So, I cut the front yard, I cut the backyard. But lo and behold, we've been getting why is this doing this? Hold on, y'all. My computer. It's just ugh. Anyway, we got rain, the backyard started growing again, and I feel like it's not level with the front yard, so it's starting to get a little tall, and I don't think I feel like I have the capacity to go back there and deal with it. So I text Gerardo, which is the guy that I use to cut the grass. So I was like, do you think you can come by today and cut the grass? So he was like, if you send me the money, we can do it now. Y'all, when I tell you that was literally at almost like four something, 5, 6, 7, 8. He texts me at like 8 saying, one of the tires blew out on the truck, so I'm going to have to wait until the morning. I don't believe him. Okay. I think he's just coming up with some nonsense, but you know what? It is what it is, y'all. I'm gonna let it be what it is. But I feel like telling you all, make sure y'all have a backup person when it comes to your hairstylist, Make sure you have a backup person when it comes to your landscape guy, your lawn care guy. Have a backup person because when they start acting funny, at least you'll be able to have somebody else to fall back on. That's just how I feel about a lot of services. So I don't know if y'all have been following these two stories, but Cyrus Belton, I spoke about that earlier this week, and Carmelo Anthony has been all over the place, y'all. When I first heard about this Carmelo Anthony situation, this whole debacle, I thought that um, they were talking about Lala Anthony's husband. Okay, when I first heard about it, but no, they were talking about the 17-year-old teenage boy that unfortunately, used a knife to defend himself, and now he's been sentenced to 35 years. Okay, now there is a lot that Gold Sugar wanted to talk about. I don't know if she's in a spot where she can talk about it.
Almost.
Okay. Okay, just let me know when you're ready. But y'all, there's been a lot going on. I feel like the parents of this boy, I question them. I really do question them, y'all, because there's no way in the world I could have my child up there fighting for their life and not have the proper defense team that they need to fight this case. I don't want to get too much into it, y'all, but we both had very similar sentiments on this, topic.
Mhm.
Uh, and oh, there she is. And people they're up in arms. They're very sensitive about it. Um, I don't know. What are your thoughts? First of all, Miss Gold Sugar, how are you doing today?
I am doing all right today.
Okay.
Positive attitude.
Yeah.
Going into the weekend, it's always a blessing to see another day, and it's always a blessing to make it to another weekend.
That, you said that very aggressively. You doing okay over there?
These weeks be long. I don't know what's going on, but these Monday through Friday be a lot, and the Saturday and Sunday speeds on past.
Yes,
You know,
indeed, girl. Yes, indeed.
um, but I'll be on here as long as I can because the weather is looking a little
Okay, I
suspicious
got.
up here. Um,
Oh,
but
oh,
I don't know if
got
we're
you.
gonna get a storm or not. But it got pretty cloudy earlier, but the temperature dropped, so
Mm.
that's a good thing. Hopefully it'll stay. It's really nice
Speak,
outside right now. It's very
speaking
windy,
of speaking of
temperature
weather,
warming.
I feel like they're manipulating the weather.
Oh yeah. The one of the girls I work with, she lives in Minnesota, and she said they got like 60-degree weather there right now. I think she said it's gonna go down into the 50s a little bit. I'm like, that's in June. In
Girl, are you
June.
working? Are you typing?
I am not typing.
Oh, I thought you were typing. It sounded like I heard some clicking.
Oh, probably be
So,
stirring some food. But
oh, maybe that's what it is. Well, you enjoy, girl.
set
Shoot,
that to
don't
the side and let it cool off.
let me keep you from your meal now. Yeah,
But
because yeah,
yeah, so if you want to just dive right in on the
let's dive.
topic of the Carmelo Anthony, so one, like you said, it's been all over the place. Like I can't go on any social media and not see, videos about it. And I feel like as soon as you see one, it feeds into your algorithm. So lately, I've been trying to scroll by them quickly and hopefully, like it doesn't pick it up like I'm watching them, because it's just been all week. That's all I've been seeing. So for me, I didn't know anything about this case. I hadn't heard anything about it in the last year from when the event initially took place. And I just heard about it when the verdict came out. And it's like people are protesting and they're upset and they're angry. I have a few key points I'm gonna try to get to quickly because, like I told you, weather.
Yes,
I
girl.
don't do no storms.
Yes, indeed.
Um, so one, I do feel like I feel like this case has been deliberately publicized heavily by the media. Deliberately. I think it's on purpose. Just last week, I don't remember the name of the young boy that was shot and killed by the Chinese guy.
Cyrus
Um,
Belton. Cyrus
Cyrus
Belton.
Belton. Yes. Last week it was the Cyrus Belton case, right?
Mm-hmm.
People were feeling away like there was outrage, shooting a black boy, getting away with it. Okay. And then what, 7 days later, maybe if that,
Mhm. Mhm.
oh, the black boy shot a white boy, but he was
Mhm.
being bullied and he was defending himself and you gave him the book. Okay. I feel like both of these cases were deliberately publicized heavily to cause outrage amongst the black community specifically, but additionally to also create like a racial divide and tension, amongst the groups. But because the last case, the guy was Asian or whatever, that's why it's
Mhm.
like, oh, it's not just white and black. Y'all are specifically trying to upset the black community. And I think there's of course, I feel like there's an ulterior motive behind it. It's for a reason. I don't know if it's
Mhm.
because it's summer and like we need to lock some of y'all up. We need to get y'all in your feelings and angry and emotional
Yeah.
when you are already easily triggered in the hot weather, um,
Right.
or what. But it's something. It's something. People are getting too uniting or unifying too much, and so we need to split them up. I don't know what it is, but I think it's
Right.
deliberate. Not to say, because I feel like I saw somebody say something about Carmelo Anthony being a crisis actor, and I don't think that's the case either. I think that whatever happened happened, but I feel like there's something on the back end working to say, you know what, go ahead and throw the book at him, make an example out of him, whatever, for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So that's one point. The
Mhm.
second thing is, I don't know what happened, because again, like I said, I didn't really hear the case when the situation first happened, when the events first took place, but um, like it's literally one thing there are literally two opposing sides with two totally different stories of what happened. I don't understand how that's the case because even in a lot of controversial situations, there's the same story is told. It's just being told from two different perspectives. This case, I feel like, is unique in itself because there's not the same story isn't being told, which is so strange to me. On one side, he was jumped and being bullied and whatever,
Right.
whatever, and he was defending himself. On the other
Mhm.
side, he was the aggressor. He was antagonizing other people. And then
Mhm.
they reacted to remove him, but nobody ever really put hand, like they pushed him, and that was the extent of it. So it's just like, how in the world, even like where it took place, how is this so far off between two different sides? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, even if you talk about the OJ trial, right? Like, we don't even really know what happened, but
Mhm.
either he did it or he didn't do it. With
Right.
the last case with the Cyrus Bellet, if I'm saying it right.
Cyrus Carmack Belton.
Belton, Cyrus Belton. Even
Mhm.
with that case, nobody ever said, like, everybody was consistent with what happened, like with the events. It was just a matter of, oh, he was stealing and he did steal. Like, okay, regardless, we all know at the end of the day what happened in the parking lot. Like, nobody's disputing that. So that's why this case is weird, because it's like it's just so just divided on the story itself, which is weird. And
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this earlier, how there's
Mhm.
all of a sudden video footage. Um, well, where was the video for court? So I'm like, how are we talking about this? Would have solved the whole mystery of what actually happened, because it sounds like it's very much he say she say. These people said this happened. This person said that happened. Well, if there's video, you can't lie. Like, I mean, you can, but video is video, especially if it's
I don't
coming from
know. Ask
multiple
R.
sources.
Kelly. Ask R. Kelly. There was a video. He said it wasn't him.
I just, like at this point with AI and stuff like that, you can kind of alter stuff however you want, but you can tell when it's the raw footage or not, right? Like, I think the forensics team at least has enough, capability to be able to determine if it's been doctored or altered or whatever. So
Right.
if there is video footage, I don't understand why that was never presented in court initially. If this happened a year ago, how is it a year later there's evidence that didn't make it into the trial? Again, I don't have a way on on it either way. I think it's messed up, from
Mhm.
both sides. Um, I think it is wrong how, because I do feel like it's very, I don't know. I don't know who's promoting it, because I feel like it's being promoted for like
Yeah.
the black community to be
Mhm.
like our reaction to be a certain way, because I don't think people truly feel like what is being plastered across social media and regular media, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like we're celebrating the death of, you know, a white
Yeah.
child. Like
Right.
as a parent, that's just, I don't think, you know, I'm very passionate about, like, I don't think a parent should ever have to bury their child under no circumstance. So like I'm automatically sympathetic to that, because it's just, that's just not
Yeah.
natural. That's unnatural. So to be like, people out here celebrating the fact that he got killed and like that's what he got, you should never say that. Like what is wrong with people that you're speaking on the dead like that? When was that ever okay? This man ain't Hitler, if Hitler was bad, or, you know, he ain't do nothing
Mm-hmm.
to torture an entire community of people or nation. Like it was, he didn't do anything that bad where you, that's what he got. Nah, I don't think that he doesn't deserve that at all. And then that's just a lack of sympathy and empathy to his family and his parents that have to grieve his death. On the other hand, I do feel like, yeah, the sentence for Karmelo was over the top. I felt like it was excessive. I'm confused about the whole process. Final point, which this segues directly to, is why it ended up where it ended up. The parents, I think the parents was trash. I haven't commented on much about this case, but I will say the parents to me are the reason that the boy is in the predicament that he is
Yeah.
in. I feel like they failed him 1,000%. I'm confused on how you get $600,000+ in donations. And like you said, because I know you mentioned the public defender, because I was like, he's got a public defender on a murder case and y'all got $600,000. This is absurd. But apparently he formerly was a public defender and he had his own practice in like 2009 is when he moved into private practice. Nevertheless, what is
Mm-hmm.
the quality of lawyer that you decided to get for your son?
I don't
Why is
know.
it only one lawyer? Why is there not a team of lawyers? In the
Exactly.
midst of preparing for the trial, if you discovered that he don't seem like he's gonna do the good on this, if you didn't pay this man $20,000, like I said earlier, you still got another $580,000 that ain't coming out of your pocket,
Mm-hmm.
like, to help with this boy's defense. But it, you know, and a lot of people are saying, because they're saying like all of it's not true as far as like the rumors that they spent money. Somebody said the mama got a nose job. I don't know if that's true or
Oh
not.
my.
They said that they had like I forgot what kind of car, but it was a luxury
Uh-huh.
car,
Uh-huh.
and they had got like a $900,000 house in a gated community. But I guess the argument on the family's behalf is that they were in a gated community that they were renting because they wanted to be in a safer location. I feel like you probably could have been in a safer location without having to. I don't know what they spent, and I doubt anybody's gonna say. But it seems that money was blown. At least that's what the internet been
Oh
saying,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Um, but I just feel like that's so wrong, because the whole purpose, the only reason you were getting the money in the first place was, well, they said for, you know, the safety and, you know, to prepare for the defense and stuff like that or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
think your sole focus, because everybody gets death threats. I'm not saying everybody, but if you on the internet, if you in the public light, everybody gets death threats. If people don't agree, I don't think that's even uncommon. YouTubers get death threats at this point. Like, it's just not an uncommon thing.
Right.
But you know, if somebody's appearing to try to act on it or stalking you or something like that, then yeah, maybe you need to take action or something, do what you need to do. But for it to it just appears from my
Mm-hmm.
perspective that the
Right.
main purpose of the money was not used for what it should have been used for. It wasn't used for his defense. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's completely on the parents.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, now they're talking about an appeal and they're raising money for the appeal attorney,
Mm-hmm.
because the son has said that he's financially destitute, and now he has an actual public defender assigned as his appeals attorney.
Mm.
This is insane. I
Mm.
mean, like,
Mm.
I've had my share of interactions in a court.
Right.
Not to no fault of my own, and I'm
Right.
guilty. I mean, I'm innocent to the fullest degree.
Right. That's right.
Background check comes back clean every time, so I mean, you know, it's all good over here.
Okay. All
But
right.
just from my experience, you know, lawyers are expensive.
Uh-huh.
And again, you can tell the quality of lawyer that you're working with. I will say I judge by like how they're dressed, their
Mm-hmm.
office, things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
because it is telling. I think so. I mean, granted, you can go look at people's reviews and things like that, but yeah, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. But I think his parents are so heavily to blame, so heavily to blame. Because here's the like, I'm not a lawyer, right? Most of us are. Most of us have no legal knowledge, for real, just life
Right.
experience.
Right.
that's that's
Absolutely.
that's the education we have, right? Is life experience. But for him to go to court and will go to trial on a murder charge, my
Mm-hmm.
one first question is, one, why is this attorney not trying to get this lesson down to a manslaughter charge, right? That automatic, like, murder shouldn't have been on the table, let alone murder one. Why is that on the table at all? Like, murder
Mm-hmm.
two, murder three, manslaughter, like, you had multiple other ones you could have gone with, and this is the worst one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I know a lot of people were saying there was probably a plea deal that came up at a point, and perhaps they turned down the plea deal because they wanted to keep collecting money. Possible, possible, but to a point, if you know you didn't do something, or you feel like I will be found innocent of this, then maybe you're gonna try to take it to trial. Maybe, right?
Right.
Again, like I said, three. Why is it one lawyer? Why is there not at least two attorneys? You got
Yeah.
$600,000. You got six
OJ
hundred
had
thousand.
a OJ had a dream team. Ain't that right? OJ
OJ
had
had
a
a
whole
dream team.
freaking dream team.
And you know what? And he had way more money. So that's the thing. You ain't got to have a dream team, but you need at least two or three lawyers. At least two or three. If you have $600,000, you could have afforded two or three lawyers. The
Yes.
primary focus was not to say we need to do whatever we need to do to get our son out of this predicament, to make sure that he's not
Mm-hmm.
going to jail for a long period of time. That boy is going to be what, almost 60 years old by the time he
Man,
gets out of jail. That's his
man,
whole life.
that is depressing.
18, 35 years, 3 carried 1, 3, oh, 53.
Goodness,
53.
man.
That's your whole life. What are you doing
They
when you come out at 53? Like, come on now.
they gotta fight harder for this boy. They
If
gotta
you
fight.
make it out, of jail, because everybody don't make it out of jail.
That's the
I
sad
mean,
part.
granted, they'll probably be like, oh, well, he'll be up for, they say he won't be up for parole until like 10 years. You got to do at least 10 or something like that before he's even eligible for parole. And then is
Mm.
that going to get denied? Like, because you go to jail for first degree. I don't know that you coming out on parole, like in the first time you get the opportunity for it. I don't know.
Man, he and
Now that,
he didn't have a prior record. They said he
right.
was they said he was highly intelligent, good grade point average. So
So let's
was
talk about this. Let's talk about the next thing.
okay.
Why is his mother his only witness as a
So
character witness?
yeah, I didn't understand that. Where were his witnesses?
He's an athlete. He's a scholar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's never been in trouble before.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I gonna pick your mom? She
Mm-hmm.
could have been one of the witnesses. She could have been one. If
Mm-hmm.
she's going to be one, then you need two or three others for sure. She can't be the
Right.
only.
No.
Any mother is going, and they always say mothers with their sons is different.
Oh yeah, girl.
Mothers love their sons.
I believe it.
Any mother is going, you've seen it. You've seen how moms will defend their sons. They dead
Girl,
wrong.
dead
Completely wrong.
wrong.
And I'm not
Dead
saying
wrong.
he was in the wrong. I'm not even
Right.
saying he's a bad kid. Even if her kid was bad in the wrong, they don't care. Go defend their child. So that's the most biased witness you could possibly put on this. She's not credible not to say she's not credible, but
Right.
it's like she's gonna say what she's supposed to say. I have no
Mhm.
reason to think that any of this is true. She's gonna say what she's supposed to say for her son. Why is there nobody else? Why was there nobody else from the track meet to be on his side? It sounds like all the witnesses were on the prosecution side.
Well, that would be up to the defense attorney, right, to dig into these witnesses. So what was he doing? Where
Bec-
were the witnesses?
because he could have called the witnesses too. Like, just because the prosecution has the witness, well, is that possible? No, but he cross-examined them.
Yeah.
Maybe he just figured he cross-examined them, it would be to his benefit. Not if it's the prosecution's. Not if it's the prosecution's witness. Is they probably have something that they know they're going to say that's going to help their side. Otherwise, they're not going to call them. I've been
That's
watching
right.
Lincoln Lawyer, like it's too much, girl.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
also feel like he should have get down. He should have taken the stand, in my opinion. I feel like he should have been placed on the stand so he could give his side of what happened because we didn't hear anything from him. They said at sentencing they did not even allow him to do a final statement. And oh yeah, there's a video that I wanted to share. I don't know if I can share it or not on here, but yeah, I'm going to find this video for y'all. But yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? The fact that he didn't even speak out for himself.
I mean, I think that's like I think it's like a traditional method that defense attorneys use. It
Mm-hmm.
might probably be outdated. I mean, they have their reasons. I guess they feel like I think the cross examination is going to be detrimental to the case a lot of times. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why they typically don't want to put the you know, the person, the accuser on the, not the accuser, person being accused on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I feel like if you know you didn't do something and if it's not going the way that you want it to go and you feel like,
Right.
nah, you haven't, because excuse me, even if you go to, your regular courthouse and you have an attorney, like that's the whole point, because it's like the judge doesn't want to hear from you. You have a lawyer to speak on your behalf so they can say it. Because I don't, for whatever reason, it's like, oh, it's just you saying it, so we don't care. But if your lawyer
Mm-hmm.
says it, they know the right words to say, and the
Mm-hmm.
legal terms and whatever. But that's just what it is. So that's really the whole point of getting a lawyer anytime you go to court most of the time, because you want somebody else to say it for you, which is silly. But I mean, I get that's how it typically goes in court. But if you I'm just just baffled a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. Like, do they not know how the lawyer process works? Like, he's doing bad, let's fire him and get somebody else. Or no, we want to do, the lawyer works for you. Just because this is the lawyer's idea, you don't have to agree with it. Don't take the stand. Now, I think I need to. At this point, you only call my mama as a witness, like as my character. I need to
Right.
speak for myself. You had one person to speak for you, and it was your mom. And she didn't even, she just, from what I saw, even what she said, she was just like kind of pleading for mercy for him. What is that?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like the parents, in my personal opinion, were kind of incompetent. That's just for me,
Somebody
observation.
said they need to send CPS to their house because they got three other kids.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. I don't know if you heard, but there's this white guy came out, this Caucasian guy. He was kind of upset about what happened. I'm going to play some of this for you. I don't know if I can actually share the video right now because of the browser that I'm using. I should have used a different browser, but I'm going to play this video through the speaker so you can hear it, what this guy had to say. All right, let me turn it up here.
I got you, Hoss. I got you. And it's already in the works for you, the judge, and the prosecutors. See, when somebody has alcohol problems, they like to run their mouth too much. So they didn't know how to truthfully answer the best way of a direct question earlier, did they? Mr. Metcalf, you a racist also. I heard everything you said. What kind of military veteran you call yourself? Let me tell you something, Mr. Metcalf. Back in the day when I was in the Army, and I knew you was who you are right now, and who you've always been, I'd have whooped your ass. You got a lot of nerve to be talking about African American people like you just did a while ago. Hey, Sarah Fields, you got a lot of nerve to be sitting with that man, or however y'all did your interview. But that's all right. I've already made one important phone call to a very damn good friend of mine in Texas. Now I want to ask a question. How the fuck did this incident take place in Denton, Texas, but the trial was moved to Collin County? But there was never a change of venue filed in the case. Oh, I know why. It's called that fucking redneck fucking judicial style shit down there. Because, see, I'm just gonna tell y'all, the photo floating around with Metcalf and you know who, that shit ain't fake. That shit ain't AI. I can't tell you how I know for a fact right now. But I'm gonna tell y'all, this shit's for real. This shit is some serious shit. They never filed for a change of venue. No. That case was to be held in Denton County, Texas, not Collin County. But I'm gonna tell you what's up. When the dad of the person that lost their life is friends with somebody that's very good friends with the judge, Roach, and good friends with the prosecutors, where the fuck you think they moved the case to for? Why you think they put the case in the other county?
Now, just for clarity.
Okay. So this is some guy that came out saying that basically Karmelo Anthony did not have a fair trial. And I guess he has some inside knowledge. Okay, and this is what I was listening to earlier, right before you had called. When I was in the car earlier.
Oh, the one you just played.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But see, that's where I go back to the defense,
Mm-hmm.
the attorney. If this, I mean, if what this guy is saying is true, because
Right.
a lot of people making their own assumptions and
Right.
whatever, wherever they get information. But let's say what he's saying is true. Why is the attorney not fighting that? Why, like,
Exactly.
the attorney failed him and the family failed him.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Big time. I'm gonna play a little bit more.
But that don't change anything.
Hold on one second.
No. Metcalf does not have to be friends with the judge and friends with the prosecutor. Just him being friends with someone that's friends with them. I wonder if there's any photos of them all having beer together and playing fucking golf too. But I'm gonna tell you this. Cell phone data. Who was at whose places? Who was it synced? Synced, y'all, with their cell phones right around each other. That means y'all railroaded this kid, and you even moved it from one county to another. I never knew that it was Denton County. I just knew that they called it Frisco. I never looked at the county. But I always knew that it was Frisco, Texas, where the incident took place. That's Denton County. That's not Collin County. The incident took place in Denton, not Collin County.
I have a question.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Okay, right. So like where you live, okay, y'all have counties, and then y'all have like a main city, right? So like if you have something that happens in your county, do you have a county courthouse that you go to, or do you have a main courthouse that even if you're in the county, you go to the main city courthouse?
Right. It sounds like he knows some of this stuff. So.
Because I feel like your area works like that. I mean, ours doesn't. Ours is county to county, but I feel like yours is different. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm asking for you, like specifically where you live. I'm not saying where you live, but I'm saying like where you live. Do y'all have like I'm in this county, I go to this county's courthouse, or do you say I'm in this county, but I go to this main courthouse? Where I
was living at first, it was a little tricky because what county was it? Oh, that location falls under the same
city
as Well,
okay.
Yeah, I think so. But it was the county courthouse.
But the county courthouse was in the city?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely right.
This sounds weird. So I'm wondering if that could be the situation, because like to me that sounds weird for like where you live, because up here that's not the case at all. You in the city, you go to the city courthouse. You in the county, you go to the county courthouse. You can't go to the county courthouse in the city. Like that just it don't go like that. So I'm curious if that's how this area, like where what he's saying as far as like Denton versus Frisco, if it works that way as well, because you know,
Hey,
everybody's, you know, where you live is different. You know, everybody's
yeah,
states are set up kind of different.
that's a good point. Look, you need to be on the legal team. I would have felt better with you representing me than them. Girl, girl. I just still cannot.
Crazy. But again, y'all, they were supposed to have Texas State Police immediately investigate. When have we ever seen something go down at a school where you only have local police involved? If you're seeing this,
Girl, they went on commercial. I'm gonna have to skip past it. Sorry. And then I heard that a text came from one of the coaches saying you need to regulate. When are you going to step up? So he was basically
Mm.
telling the boy. Did you hear about that?
The victim.
Yeah, he was telling the boy, the victim, well, Austin, when are you
Hmm.
going to step up? Because apparently Carmelo Anthony was talking trash about their team. So that actually added fuel to the flame, if you ask me. Nobody's
Yeah.
talking about the circumstances surrounding it because details matter. Details matter in all this stuff. And I don't understand if there's a video floating around, why we haven't seen the video and why was this not brought up in the trial? That is a part of the evidence. That's crazy
Yeah.
to me.
Hmm. I feel like that would have told the story that is just being speculated because I don't I don't know who's, you know, like who's telling the truth and who's not. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Hmm.
if I'm on
Hmm.
trial, I'm gonna say what I need to say or kind of veer the story as
Hmm.
I probably would it would best serve me too. Not saying that he did, but is who paid the witnesses off if that's the case? Like if and were the
Hmm.
parents at the track meet or were the parents not at the track meet? Like
I don't think the father I don't think the parents were there. No. And then this guy is also saying the same thing that you said about the division point, the division piece. I'm going to let him say that.
to try to make a huge divide coming up to these elections. But I'm gonna tell you this. I seen everything Metcalf said. And I'm just gonna say this too. He got fucking recorded for everything he said. He was recorded for it all. Mello was moved to a different prison because they thought another prison was not safe enough for him. Look it up. He was moved to a different prison tonight. Y'all, please pray for this kid. And so many of you fail to understand. It's not that we don't have passion for the loss of life, but we have a right to feel that this kid deserves proper, true, adequate justice. And I have a reason to believe that the defense attorney trashed the case on purpose. And even I could pick different pieces and show you that he definitely didn't give him a proper defense like he was required to do to the best
mm-hmm.
ability
You see?
under ethic law.
That's what you said.
Under ethics standards, he was required to represent that kid the best that he could once he signed a retainer and announced his representation to the case. There you go, Dean. See, Dean? Y'all pass it out there to Dean for me. Get it to him. Let him see this video. I'm not as damn legally dumb as you thought I am. What did you try to tell people?
Now remember, fam.
So these type of injustices go on all the time. This is why people need to have some type of knowledge of the legal proceedings and process, because if you don't know, you will get railroaded. And they do this to people. Look at what they did to Puffy and look at what they did to R. Kelly. We don't even have Puffy and R. Kelly money. But if
I
they
don't
can do
even
that to
care
them,
about. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if they could do that to them, imagine what they can do to the average, citizen out here.
Puffy got what he deserved. R. Kelly, on the other hand, I still disagree with that man still being in jail.
All
But
right, so
yeah,
okay, but tell me why you feel that Puffy got what he deserved, because he was not brought up on charges for Cassie. He already had
he
settled that case.
wasn't. I feel like that's just karma. I think that's the universe
I could see
giving
that.
him. And now, as far as the case goes, yeah, no, they didn't have a strong case for what they charged him with. No, they did not.
Yeah,
But as far as
I could
like
see that.
what he's done in life, that's what
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying, but according to the law, they
Hmm.
had no right to really lock him up on those charges because you had willing participants and they tried to
Hmm.
say he was trafficking, you know.
Hmm.
Girl, all right, so you said code noir, black codes, hidden racism in and through the law. So yeah, people don't know about legalese, but yeah, if you know anything and you study, you know that basically we get railroaded because we really don't understand a lot of the things that they have
Oh
implemented
yeah.
until
I
the
mean,
late.
I think also too, like men, like versus women in court. I think men are at the um like they're at a disadvantage. And
Hmm.
then when you start getting to black versus white, yeah, I think black
Hmm.
people are at a disadvantage when you go to
Hmm.
court. And so it is what it is. Like, not it is what it is, like, oh well, but that is a thing.
Hmm.
But knowing that it exists, because I don't think it's gonna change. You have to be, well, I mean, people have to make it change, be lawyers and be judges and things like that,
Yeah.
like have representation.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's like, yeah, now you have to be strategic and make sure that when you do go to court, it's just bothers me so much because I know how expensive attorneys are. To be
Hmm.
like, you had this much money and this is what you settled for. That is so
Yeah.
frustrating to me. And the result of that is your child, facing, basically he's only 8. He hasn't even 35. He hasn't lived to 35 yet. Like,
Hmm.
he's gonna end up being in jail more than he's been out of jail. Like, did he graduate? Like, that's messed up.
I don't even know. I don't think he made it to graduation.
That's messed up. And I'm so curious about the video. And a lot of times too, like, don't we see videos before they go to court? Like, if a
Hmm.
video was there,
Hmm.
granted, like, all right, whoever's on the jury, like, you're supposed to be unbiased and not paying attention to stuff, but the stuff be shared and people see it. So what
Right.
was this? I'm just the case. Something is
It's weird.
off.
It is very weird. When I first heard about it, I really did not give it my attention like that because I just,
Hmm.
I felt like there's always an agenda behind these narratives when they push it forward, to the media.
Hmm.
And then on top of it, if where is this video coming out of nowhere? Also, are y'all suppressing videos? How is this even possible? It reminds me of the takeoff situation. Everybody that was there, everybody had
Yep.
cell phones, nobody saw what
Yep.
happened. And he, come on now.
Yep.
It's cover up somewhere going on. This is
Yep.
craziness.
And that's the thing, like, at this point, it's always video somewhere. Like, the school, if they're at a school, the school has video. The school got video and
It's
cameras of you going down the thing, so they know if you speeding or not. Like, there is cameras everywhere. And then to top it off with phones, like, this isn't the 90s where you got to have a big, heavy, over the shoulder video
camcorder.
camera, yeah,
Yeah.
camcorder walking around. Like, it's just, times are so different that it's
Everybody's recording.
everybody's recording. Your car is recording, your Ring doorbell on your house is recording, or whoever you, like, it's always, cameras are everywhere. They got on the light poles when you go down the street, like, cameras are everywhere. The schools absolutely have cameras. So it's like, how is there nobody got oh, well, there is footage, but we just didn't present it in what? This
Right.
doesn't make any sense. Like, we didn't need the footage because, so either
Uh,
you didn't put the footage in as the defense attorney because it was going to work against you. That's the
right.
only reason I can see an attorney saying, I'm not adding it, but the
Pursuing.
prosecution would have added it, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Something's not making sense because it would have worked in somebody's favor. But to
Hmm.
opt to leave footage out, the evidence, the key point of evidence, you leave that out. Oh, we don't, like you said, we don't need the video of what actually happened.
That
Who
sounds
does
like
that?
the lawyers agreed not to admit it and said, like, we both came to an agreement to be like, I'm not gonna put it in because this, and, well, I ain't gonna put it in because, like, if it was negative on both y'all sides to some
Mhm.
level, but it's gonna be more disadvantageous to one than the
Yeah,
other.
absolutely.
Somebody's gonna be more negatively impacted than the other, and whoever the other is should have had that video footage put into evidence. So it boils down to, like that guy said, like what was up with this lawyer? Like, did he throw this case on purpose? Because that's what
Yeah.
it feels like.
It kind
And
of feels that way.
and I also just, again, back to the point of the Cyrus Belton case. This case has totally overshadowed that. I would rather still be hearing about the Cyrus Belton case,
Me
because
too.
all of a sudden it's 75,000 to donate Charleston White or
Charleston
whatever.
White.
They said they was trying to collect $1 million. That's what I saw the other day. I don't know if it was true,
Oh,
but I'm
my
like,
God.
y'all are still asking for money. However, I don't know how they're getting it at this point. I guess it's Cash App and whoever, Venmo, who knows. But now they're still asking for money because they're like, oh, we need an appeal attorney. They already gave the boy the public defender for the appeal attorney. But they, maybe you'll still try to get it switched to somebody else later. I don't know. But why are we talking about the appeal for Cyrus Belton's case? Why is that not the
Thank you.
appeal that everybody is focused on?
Thank you.
Not to say poor Karmelo needs to just, y'all can do his appeal, but no, we need to focus on the main appeal, because that boy lost his life.
That's
and nobody got justice. So Austin lost his life. Somebody is paying for for taking his life. Nobody's paying for Cyrus Belton's life. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
It's just
the hypocrisy of it all, right?
The hypocrisy of it all. The hypocrisy, yes. Because on one hand, you're like, oh, he didn't deserve to get all that time, and we need to appeal it. Da, 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 da. Well, justice was served for the person who died. That's what you always want, right? I think so. Well, let's maybe stop talking about the person who actually did kill somebody. And I'm not saying like again, I don't agree with the sentence he got at all. But let's put that aside. Y'all do that in the shadows or whatever, work it out. But maybe we focus on the appeal for the person who got killed and nobody was held accountable for his death. We should focus on that one. And why don't y'all donate for their parents to appeal that decision?
Right. Yeah, thank you for saying that, because I feel like this should not be overshadowing that. And then on top of it, I'm irritated with the parents of Karmelo Anthony, because they seem so incompetent, and they did not do their son any justice to be sitting in this situation. I that's how I really feel, because all throughout the time that they were having this case going on, did they not question any of the antics of the attorney? I'm just reading this article saying we did everything we were told to do, and now look what happened. Okay, this is not someone else's. This is your son. You do what you have to do. I'm sorry.
Sheep.
Oh,
Bad.
sheep.
Like they.
Oh yeah, girl. And I'm just saying, like, girl, it's so irritating to me, because I know that I don't know. I guess we would fight harder. Like, we wouldn't just lay down and take it, whatever somebody tells us.
It looks like the people in the street are fighting harder than his parents. The people in the street seem more outraged than the parents. The people in the street, like on the internet and stuff, seem like they asking more of the questions and are more passionate about it than the parents, in my opinion. I don't even.
Sorry to cut you off. But I kind of feel like the parents don't have much sense. I'm talking about they lack book. You know how some people don't have any like book knowledge or book smarts? It's almost like they're incompetent. And I'm not trying to be funny, but this is why this is going on, because they are lacking understanding in some
You're
capacity.
basically calling them special ed in a better way, I guess, because I don't even think it's book smarts. I won't even say book smarts, because you cannot be book smart and just have regular common sense. But I think you think they're lacking common sense as well. They have neither.
They're lacking something.
Because even somebody is like, I'm not college educated. Somebody that could have dropped out in high school. But they still just have like this don't feel right. Like they have an intuition, or they can think for themselves. I don't have to have all of the knowledge that somebody else got, but I can think for myself. And if something don't seem right, just logical thinking, that they're lacking that. And it could be, something with their, but both of them,
both
Dang,
of
both
them.
of them.
But this is, and then so, and then you said, hold on. It's just so much going on in my head. You said people are unconscious and aware, lacking critical thinking skills.
Mm-hmm.
People are, and people are not aware, and they do lack critical thinking skills. And the sad, crazy part, and the scary part is that, like they said, they have three other children that have to be brought up. And then on
Mm-hmm.
top of it, how did this boy get almost a 4.0 GPA with parents like that? That's the
Mm-hmm.
question that I pose.
I said, was he trying to get away from the parents? In my mind, that's what I was like.
What?
If
By
this is
committing a
his,
crime?
no, I mean like by being a scholar in
Oh,
track and
yeah,
a athlete. Like,
right.
was he doing so good in school to try to get away from them because he like I can't deal with this. This is some BS.
Girl,
No,
I,
not because I don't think he intended on killing that boy by any means.
I
Like I
don't,
said, I tell my kids, you do what you have to do to get somebody up off of you. Like if you
right,
treat everybody as if it's a threat, it's a threat. You handle the threat as
right.
you deem necessary or whatever. Like I'm not gonna not tell them that.
Yeah.
Sometimes scale it back if necessary, I guess. But it might be too late. But you do what you need to do to defend yourself. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't think he had any malicious intent. So, no, I don't think he tried to kill the boy. I think he
No.
was, being performing well in school and things like that. That did cross my mind before you were talking about their lack of intelligence.
Hmm.
That kind of crossed my mind was like because they seemed very simple, like two
Yeah.
simpletons, and so I was like,
Very.
was he trying to get away from them? Like that's why because it's a little. I don't think it's common for like
Right.
simpletons to have somebody that's like, oh, they're doing so good and this is and that. Like usually people push their kids to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
I doubt that was the case in that household. Just from my from from where I'm looking from, anyways.
And was he the oldest? I feel like he was the oldest.
Mm-hmm. Why
Okay.
why did he cut his hair? Is that like was that something the jail required
Of
or
course.
whatever?
I guess to make himself more presentable in court because you cannot wear ethnic styles or and you're on trial because people will perceive you a
Did he
certain
cut his
way.
hair for court or did he cut his hair after the verdict? I thought it was after because it looked like he
Oh,
was bald.
yeah, I saw where he cut his hair. I thought maybe he did it for court purposes.
Oh, I thought it was after
Just
court that it got
uh,
cut, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
yeah, because I didn't follow the trial. But I've seen people do that. Like they'll try to fix themselves up for court and cut their hair and do certain things just to make themselves more appealing and presentable because it's more acceptable to not have ethnic hairstyles in court. You know how that goes. You can't have your hair looking a certain way or people will perceive you a certain
I mean,
way.
you can
That's
style it as you can style it a certain way, and as long as you
Mhm.
dress a certain way and certain demeanor, well,
Mhm.
I think that'll override that.
Mm.
But
Well,
I do get it is perceived a certain way, but
they are in Texas. So
your
you
skin
said,
gonna be perceived how your skin is perceived regardless.
girl, ain't
So
that the truth? You said Massa always punished us by cutting our hair. You ain't gonna cut my hair. But yeah, it's just interesting. And I just hopefully he'll have some type of, recourse with this appeal. But now that it's played out and done, it's gonna be difficult to overturn at this point, unless they can absolutely, show proof that his defense attorney did not represent him properly, right? Then he would have grounds to try to appeal. So we'll
I
just,
don't think that's the approach that they're gonna take. But ooh,
um, what do you think their approach would be?
I don't know. I don't know. In adding the video that they
Mhm.
allege that has all of a sudden turned up,
Well,
people talking about now.
that's like how R. Kelly got railroaded because they did not allow the text messages into court. Asriel Clary's mother actually was sending her text messages back and forth, telling her to lie to R. Kelly about her age. She told Asriel, "Oh, he likes him young. He's going to really like you, and plus you're so pretty." I mean, she had knowledge knowing that Asriel was going to meet up with R. Kelly.
Hmm.
The girl flew all the way to was it Vegas to be with R. Kelly and was texting her mother the whole time. She was even missing school to fly out to meet R. Kelly, and the mother had knowledge of it. So this is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, that all those text messages got left out of the evidence for court. None of that was
Yeah,
read.
that's why I don't understand, like, with this trafficking that they're calling it now, like with sex trafficking and stuff. Whatever. I don't really understand, because it's like if you fly, because girls always be like, I got flued out. If you fly somebody out, right, and y'all like you're like that's the intent is to hook up or whatever. I don't understand how that's sex trafficking, but like that's what they're calling sex trafficking now. I thought it
Hmm.
probably had like something to do with against your will, you
Against your
being
will. Yeah, you
taken to
didn't
somewhere
know
else.
that you were going to be taken across, state lines in order to solicit you to do this or that. But if you're a willing participant, that's why I say I don't agree with that whole puffy verdict, honestly, because these people were willing participants. They got paid. As a matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, y'all, as a matter of fact, Tasha K just had one of the participants interviewed on her channel, and he told how it was a big stash of cash on the dresser, and so Puffy paid him to be with Cassie, and Cassie was partaking in it. So it's not like she was not a willing participant. People try to make Cassie out to be like this innocent victim. She was not as innocent as people try to portray her. And as
Oh,
a
they
matter
said
of
she was setting the stuff up though.
she was setting the stuff up, she was
Mm-hmm.
participating in it, she was telling the men what to do. And Puffy, with his sick self, he was like the director of it all. So he would sit there and watch all this stuff go down. But she knew what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's the
mean, I
thing. I said that with the R. Kelly trial, and I'm like, if you violate somebody against their will, like, yeah, that's the help do what you need to do, right? But if everybody's a willing participant, that's the part where it's like, well, how are you trying to blame this person? And I get, they're like, oh, they have the power and their influence, and okay, well, that person was probably a bit weaker, or you know, their morals were less and or integrity, whatever, right? So they went with whatever the person was pressuring them to do. Now, unless
mm-hmm,
if you threatening them or something like that, right? Like that's
mm-hmm,
different too. But
that's
if
different.
nobody's threatening you and you just
Mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm,
it's just so strange to me because it's like groupies don't exist. Groupies weren't a thing.
mm-hmm,
Like that was a whole thing. It's still a thing. Like
mm-hmm.
people will do whatever for whatever. Like
Yeah, they will.
that's still real. Um, so that's why it's just like this just doesn't make sense.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. My sentiments are the same. So we see how people get railroaded all across this nation, unfortunately. I'm just glad that you have the wherewithal. Thank you so much. I went to the office today, by the way. I went to the real estate office to get some stuff taken care of, some business handled. But yeah, I'm glad that you have the foresight and the hindsight to kind of see what's going on in this situation, because the points that you're bringing out, I didn't hear the parents bring these points out. All they did was sat up there, shook their head, and just said, the man was like, we just got railroaded. We just got railroaded. I mean, they just already had their minds up, but they're not able to articulate themselves, is what I'm saying. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I see the parents sit in front of the camera and they're not able to even have a proper discourse to express what's going on with the situation, it gives me pause for concern,
Mm-hmm.
because that lets me know that I feel like Carmelo Anthony would not have been in this situation if he had a different,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say upbringing, but maybe like
Different
guidance
parents.
guidance from his parents, because he should have had some type of understanding or discernment to say, why would I be under a tent with a whole group of them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you know what type of energy, right, probably was there. Because I've gone to school with all of them before. And I've
Mm-hmm.
been called the N-word. I've gone through that. So I know what that energy feels like, right? He was around that type of energy. Not saying that that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened, but I'm just saying when you're around a group of them and they think that they're superior and supreme and they're telling you you need to move from under our tent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you stay there and go back and forth with them? You're outnumbered. They already said
Mm-hmm.
these twins were very big, looking like Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you put yourself in that situation? Now, if it comes down to it and you get into an altercation, yeah, you got a weapon on you, but you don't want to have to use it, right? It's like
Right.
we go around with our heat. We don't want to have to use it, but we will if we have to. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
don't put yourself in a situation where you have to go there because you don't want to throw your life away and you don't want to have to
Mm-hmm.
take a life. And so I think that if he had this type of discernment, and being he was only 17, but you still have some type of understanding of how the world works, it makes me question his parents because I feel like in our society,
Mm-hmm.
every parent has to, if you have melanated sons, you got to have some
Mm-hmm.
type of conversations with them about just how to know how to carry yourself in public, what type of challenges you might face, you know what I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
there's always the chance that this could happen. Even D.L. Hughley was talking about how he had these conversations with his son. If you get
Mm-hmm.
pulled over, how do you present yourself? How do you talk to the police? Comply, do this, do that. It's just you have to navigate differently as a melanated individual in society in America because we already
Mm-hmm.
know how the game goes out here. Everybody should know that by now.
Right.
So
And
I feel like they didn't properly prepare him for life. I
I
mean,
heard I heard
oh,
other people saying that same thing. Like exactly
yeah.
when because I'm like he wouldn't be in this predicament if they like handled his
Mhm.
case properly, but I've heard
Yeah.
other people saying the same thing that you're saying is he would never have been in that situation to begin with if they were raising him,
Right.
based off of their parenting.
Yeah. Let's just give all right, so let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say he went over to the tent, right? Knowing
Mhm.
they didn't want him there, knowing that he's going to cause them to get in an uproar, get under their skin. He had the knife just in case something went down, right?
Mhm.
My thing is why even put yourself in that situation?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know how it could go. You're outnumbered. You don't know. And we know how these people operate. We
You
know
know,
how they operate when you're not even provoking them.
and a lot of people were like, "Why did he have a knife at a track meet?" Right? So I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm on the fence with that, right? Because so your nephews the other week,
Uh,
they were impatient. We had a pool
okay.
party at the clubhouse. They didn't feel like waiting for their little brother. So the two oldest was like, we're gonna walk back. I was like, y'all good?
Hmm.
Probably
Hmm.
like a 30-minute walk. It's not far.
Okay.
You see the distance. It's not far driving, but walking,
Mhm.
it's a little bit longer. Straight stretch, but it's just a long walk. So I was like, y'all good? I was like, you need a knife? When we go to go to the car, get a knife? Because it was just them two walking back. Granted,
Yeah.
it was, if just whatever, because you see how people be with these vans and whatever. Like I ain't trying
Oh
to like
yeah. Oh
they're
yeah.
bigger than both of us. So I'm like, y'all
Yeah.
probably are fine. But still, just to make sure, like for protection. So I was like, well, I would give my kid a knife to, if he walking around by himself,
Hmm.
where like in a unsecured environment or whatever. So I
Hmm.
was like, maybe he would have a knife. Maybe he wouldn't. I used to carry a box cutter when I was in school, like for sure.
Hmm.
So, but it was, it was like if I needed to have it, needed it for something. Like, so that's the part where I'm like, but like you're saying, like, what was your intention? Why did you like? So the question becomes, why did you have the knife? Did you have it because
Hmm.
like you have a certain amount of time where you're by yourself, you have to wait for your parents, somebody come up on you, whatever, you're not that big. Okay. Or did you have
Hmm.
it because you was thinking like, if something go down with this particular kid, this is what
Right.
I'm gonna do. Because at that point, you ain't really
Hmm.
too much better than them kids that bring the gun to school and be like, oh, I'm gonna shoot people up because they was messing with me. Like
Right.
you ain't really that much better than one of them at that point. If
Now,
that was the reason.
my question is this: did he have? This is the question to think about. Did he have prior incidents with this person? Because I don't know if they talked about it. I'm pretty sure they probably have. Did they have a prior background with one another? Because if that's the case, and he thought that, oh, I might see him there, he's going to be there. Let me make sure I have something so I'm straight, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then where were Carmelo Anthony's friends and acquaintances and stuff, or was this a predominantly white school? Like I'm kind of
Where was
confused.
his teammates?
Right, I'm kind of confused. They said it was a track meet, but I'm confused
I
on that.
think it was, they were saying like so from what I was hearing on the internet, they were basically saying like like he wasn't in the type of environment, like more of the like hood, I guess, type schools where people have altercations all the time or whatever. They were saying like the school wasn't like that. Like it seemed like it was a good school, you know what that means. So he wouldn't have necessarily needed a knife or anything like that. So it probably was more of a, it might have been, I don't know if it was predominantly white, but more white kids and stuff at the school or whatever. Um, but that's like you said, what did they have previous incidents? Well,
Hmm.
it's just too much is missing. That's why,
It's a
like,
lot. It's
what
and
was this
it's
boy's story?
That's why I said details matter. And it's too many details missing from this story. Just from me listening and hearing it, it sounded like he was at a predominantly Caucasian school, because
Mm-hmm.
that's really like the feeling and the vibe that it's giving. And for
Mm-hmm.
them to say, get from under this tent, you don't belong under this tent, that's giving me that white supremacist mindset. That had to come from somewhere. That comes
Mm-hmm.
from these people thinking that they own, and that they are the superior, and that he's inferior. We don't want you here, you don't belong. That's that mindset. And maybe he had that knife just to say, yeah, if something goes down, I got some protection on me. Now, did he mean to actually kill him? I don't think he meant to do that, but
Right.
that's what happened. And so we
Mm-hmm.
also have to look at the accountability on both parts. I feel like where Carmelo Anthony should have taken accountability is, but then he's young and he's 17. So you got to think, okay, this is the mind of a 17-year-old that doesn't have a lot
Right.
of life experience. Maybe he didn't think it would go that far, but it did. And
Don't
then
have
you're
no
thinking about,
guidance.
but he had a father, right? Angelic
No,
Warrior.
we
I
taking
thought,
them out. We taking them out.
okay.
Then that's what they keep trying to say. They keep trying to say, "Oh, he
Uh-huh.
had a father in the house." No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no,
but
no. Because
he,
I feel
he's
like
not a
that's.
strong
I
father
feel like
figure.
it's too much credit just by saying you have a person,
Yeah,
somebody's in the house. You
yeah,
can be in the house, but that
right.
doesn't mean you're doing anything. And I was like, it's so. Oh,
He's a
girl, our
beta. He's
standards,
not
our
an alpha. I can tell
standards are
you that
so
right now.
low.
He's a beta, because he was sitting up there comforting the mother. The mother was acting like she's a victim. A victim of
Mm-hmm.
what? You are so concerned with consoling her. Your son is facing life
Mm-hmm.
for defending himself. You need to be like out there with your, all right, son, like every single day. You need to be coaching him, guiding him,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a beta. He's weak.
Well,
That's a
see,
weak
and that's
father.
that's why I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna say in the black community, like the
Mm-hmm.
standard is so low, just to be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't leave, he's still in the house, she's not a single mother. Well,
Yep.
wait a minute. I don't think you get credit just by saying I'm there. I could be here and be a slob and not be a good mother, but I'm still
Right.
here. That doesn't mean
Right.
I'm doing what well, the mother's expected to, right? Well,
Yeah.
the father could still be there and be a bum, but he's in the house and he married the mother, so that makes it okay. Like he had a dad in the house. What is that? No, that doesn't mean anything. He could be a
Yep.
terrible father. He could
Yep.
be awful. But your standard is that, oh, he's there, so
Mm-hmm.
he had somebody to look up to. No, that's not what that means. It
Right.
just means he's there. We don't know what type of parent
Right.
this person is and what has he given us so far. Yes, like you said, beta, because I think that's even worse, right? To be like,
Right.
you have your mother and your father, right,
Mm-hmm.
together,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make sure that the son is taken care of in this, crazy situation that nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to see their child in. And to
Right.
be like, we got railroaded and listened to other people. It was two of y'all. It was two of
Right.
y'all parents together. If it was like, oh, the single mother and she don't know, and somebody
Mm-hmm.
come in, swoop in, and she gets
Mm-hmm.
misguided, that might be a little bit more understandable. I still feel like as a parent, you just passionate about your child and you ain't gonna let
Mm-hmm.
nobody steer you away from doing what's right for your kid. But
Right.
to be like, it's both of y'all put two parental heads together and this is
It's
what y'all decided on, to be
and
like,
and
let me listen to that person over there that
Girl.
just don't
And
really impact that much.
I'm gonna say this too. I feel like the mother is a manipulator. Not to
Mm-hmm.
try to bash the parents, but I was watching one of their press conferences, and I really feel like they should have been off the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she's an emotional manipulator, and I feel like the father goes along with whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. And sometimes you need to have an alpha male that can actually think logically and rationally, because mothers are going to think emotionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need a strong mentality of a male figure that can kind of be the guidance for her, but be the guidance for the boy, because you're raising a young guy, a young male, a
Mm-hmm.
young man. They're not going to be boys forever. You are raising sons to go out in this world and be men that have to be men to their families, that have to lead their families. So it's not helping if you're sitting there talking about shaking your head. We were railroaded. They already had them. Like, that's weakness. That's weakness.
And
They'll eat.
what does that mean? I'm so sorry. We were railroaded. They already had their minds made up. Which one is it? Because those are two different things. You can't say both. You can't say we were railroaded and they are. I feel like railroaded means like they did something. Well, like it. Unless I'm thinking of it in the wrong way, right?
Mhm. I
Am I
mean,
am I thinking of it wrong? Maybe it's me thinking
no,
wrong
you
because I
you
feel like
know
railroaded means
because
like somebody did us wrong like
yeah,
through this process. But if that was the case, they didn't have to railroad you because you said they already had the minds made up.
I
Does
got
that
what
make
you're saying.
okay?
I was just reading. Excuse me. I was just reading the article that was
I know you
posted.
were. I know you were. So I was like, what is he saying? What is he saying here? Where you railroaded? Because I feel like when they're saying they were railroaded, it's like somebody influenced them to do something
Uh-huh.
that ended up being the wrong thing to do. That's what
Well,
I
and
feel like the
okay,
railroaded part was.
okay. Now, in all actuality, they said that they listened to whatever their defense attorney told them to do. We just did what they said for us to do, and now look what happened. So it's not. It's like they are not taking accountability in this. You see what I'm saying? So this falls down to the child. It's a generational thing. And I feel like if they had more strong-minded parents, especially a stronger father figure, he wouldn't have gone down that road to be in a tent with a knife and get into an altercation knowing he was outnumbered. He wouldn't have even been in that situation. That's
what
just
and
my personal opinion.
what did the attorney tell them to do? Why didn't she say that? Well, like I feel like from the end, because I only saw a clip of the interview where she was, crying and just didn't really say much of anything really. Um, but like what happened? Because I feel like you're gonna need to say that part. Because what happened? How did you get railroaded? Who told you to
Again,
do what? What did they tell you to do?
I,
You know what I
I haven't
mean?
right. I haven't watched I haven't watched much footage of them, because the first time that I really saw them was when this whole situation went down, and it irritated me just to watch. So I tuned out of it. And the reason that I am talking about it now is because it's been all over my feed, that I was like, well, let me
Hmm.
see what's going on with it. But yeah, like I get very, me, I get irritated when it seems like people are not using their common sense and logic. Girl, I just can't. I can't, because at that point, like, you're just being slow for no reason. And
I
I'm not
feel
trying to,
like
mhm.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to bash the parents, but people need to actually speak the truth in this situation.
Hmm.
They want
I'm
to
not.
make the parents seem like they're victims because their
Hmm.
child has been given 35 years. But what did you do as parents that contributed to this child being in this situation right
Their
here?
child is the victim of the system. Their child is a victim of the system, right? Not of the
Mhm.
crime, but of the system. And the
Right.
thing is, he's 17. He doesn't know. He does not know. He's looking to his parents to make the right choices to help him
Yeah.
in the situation. That
Right.
wasn't for him to be like, because granted, what he was 17 and probably going through all this or whatever. He doesn't
Yeah.
know. Even if he was 18 or 19, you still probably gonna look at your parents. If your parents are there to be like to help guide you through it, and but they're not going to be able to make those decisions on their own on what's the right thing to do. What should I not do in this case? And that's where the parents fail him. I'm not trying to bash them either, but they're suspects.
What really gets me and what really infuriates me and is upsetting is because he's so young. And for the fact that he had this good GPA and he was doing stuff with his life, and
Mhm.
he just, my point is, he threw his entire life away over something in a situation that wasn't worth it, because he wouldn't
Mhm.
even had to be in an altercation whatsoever. If you know this group of people had racist supreme hatred towards you, or whatever the case was, why even go over there and even like, um what I want to say, entertain the situation when you have
Mhm.
your whole life ahead? You're trying to graduate, you might be going to college, you might have a career you want to pursue. This was not worth it. That's my point. He shouldn't have been in this situation. And I feel
Yeah.
like, just like, where was the hindsight, the foresight, the discernment? I mean,
Yeah.
17-year-olds are, I mean, we see how intelligent 14-year-olds are. Okay. You see how
Mhm.
intelligent 11-year-olds are. Children are very highly emotionally intelligent, even
Mhm.
kindergartners, believe it or not. They know right from wrong. But I think in that particular instance, maybe he got caught up in like his ego and like showing them like,
Oof.
oh, you're not gonna back
Mhm.
me down. I'm gonna defend myself. And it just
Mhm.
was not the time to do that, because
Mhm.
it didn't have to be like that. It just did
That
not have to.
and that's what I was gonna say. I was literally gonna use the word ego. I was gonna use, because I'm like, you also have to think about this generation. Like, if you get a teenager and he feeling himself, girl, like they be real, just like, you
Hockey.
know, cocky, and they
Yep.
got a point to prove, and you ain't
Yep.
about to. And and I think I heard somebody say, like, he felt embarrassed or something, like maybe he felt embarrassed, so he had to, again, like you
Yeah.
say, ego. He had to like show, like, oh well, you do this, touch me again and see what happened. Like, now, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta prove something. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know your life can change in like literally a second. Like, what did
Yeah.
somebody say, you one bad decision away from going to jail? You really
Man.
are. You're one bad decision away
Scary.
from going to jail. And it can happen so quickly. And that's why it's like, I give him a little bit of grace, just because he is so young
Yeah.
and he's still building that emotional intelligence and all of that
Right.
stuff to be able to keep your composure in certain situations. But again, that's where you're saying it goes back to the parents. Now, it's so
Yes.
funny because your nephews are constantly like, Dad was lecturing us. When I tell you, these
Okay.
kids get so many lectures, or they call them
I'm happy.
lectures.
I'm happy to hear it.
He gets so many lectures, but he really do. And and I'm like, I know they hear it, but hopefully they're retaining it. I think they
Yeah.
do. They just don't feel like sitting through the conversations. But he really does like try to tell them,
Mhm.
like, the decisions you make can affect your
Mhm.
life in way bigger ways
You
than you
know
think.
what?
Don't follow your friends. Don't do what they
Yeah.
doing. This,
Yeah.
it's like he tries to explain. So that's why it does go back on the parents to be like,
Yeah.
well, what were you teaching him? Because you said they had to, or everybody giving credit to the daddy because the daddy was in the house. But that's why I say it doesn't matter if he's just in the house, if he's not
Mhm.
really
Doing
teaching the
it.
kids. Yeah, if he's not
Yeah.
teaching them nothing.
I wish that's who I should have gotten on the panel tonight. I should have gotten the nephews up here. And maybe, maybe they'll be open to it next weekend or whenever, to come
You
up
know
here.
what though? On
Mhm.
this topic, your nephews, all of them, they are so non-confrontational. They are so, and that's the thing. That's the other part where it's like, just in general,
Mhm.
parents got to do better with their kids. It's like, you sending. I told my neighbor, because she was so worried about her son when he started school the other year, and
Mhm.
she was like, I hope he does okay. And I said, it's not your child you have to worry about. I said, it's other kids. Because,
Yeah.
she's like, I hope like, she's hoping her son doesn't something it's with somebody. And I'm like, your child is going to be fine. I was like, you know how he is. I was like, it's the other, and her husband was like, exactly. It's other people's kids. And it really is. It's other people's kids. That's usually the problem. So it's like, well, how are you sending your kid out in the world? And that goes for the Austin's parents
Yes.
and Carmelo's parents. How was
Both.
y'all sending y'all
Both.
kids out in the world?
Yeah.
Because this could have been avoided. My kids are so non-confrontational. They're so non-confrontational. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna avoid it if possible, or whatever. Like, if you mess with them, they're gonna react to you a little bit, but they're gonna try to avoid
Mhm.
escalating. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna defend themselves if they need to, but they're gonna avoid anything escalating if possible. And it's like, why is that not the standard for
Right.
most for most kids, like it just seems natural. Like
Mhm.
why? And mine's a young teenage over here. But it's like you don't need to have an ego and be cocky and this and feel you have something to prove to people. Like for what? Just be chill. Just go about your day.
Yeah, they are very passive. Sometimes I'm like, y'all don't want to talk to your auntie today. It's like y'all don't
They
like
are,
this.
and that's the thing that like that I think that is a good thing in a way. Like it can be frustrating,
Mhm.
because the husband over here is passive as well. He's very passive.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I keep forgetting he is very passive. But now I know he will handle
he
what he has
will.
to handle if it comes down to it. Now
He
I know
will. but he's very passive, and like I like it's helped me because it'd be
that.
like, don't let other people control your emotions, and I'm like, oh, easier said than done.
Yeah, because
Like that's
you scare me. You have scared me in the past, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's no calming you down. Like you're on a crazy level, a
and
crazy
that
level.
see no, oh my god, it just looks that way, but I've never done
I
anything
don't know.
crazy. That's the thing. I've
I
never
don't
done
know.
anything crazy. Everybody says that. I think it's just the way it looks.
Okay. Oh,
But
I
see,
remember. What
uh-oh.
was that? Did your eyes change or turn
They
red or
turn
something?
red. I've
Yeah, I
heard
was
this
there.
on a couple of
Yeah,
occasions.
girl.
They turn
I
red.
was like, she looks like a little lion, a little tiger.
I was outside pacing.
Yeah, you
And you
were
know what?
outside
It was so
pacing.
crazy that you said they were red and it was dark outside. Because I
Yeah.
remember somebody at work told me my eyes turned red before. They were like, oh my God, your eyes are red. And I was like, are they? I'm not
Yes.
looking in the mirror. I don't know.
Mhm. Well, I'm glad you have calmed down.
Oh yeah. You know what used to happen? My jaw used to like lock, like try to lock,
Yeah.
and I would still
Yeah.
talk through it. And I'm like, this is not healthy.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but we've
Ooh.
come along. But see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm grown,
Hmm.
and it's taken me a little while to get like this. So that's why I was like, I understand, like, the boy, if he can't control
Yeah.
whatever, especially if nobody is trying
Yeah.
to guide
Yeah.
him into that way, it's like you still learning how to handle your
Yeah.
emotions and take
Yeah. Because,
control of that. So
I've
I
done
feel
stuff
like,
when I
yeah,
was younger.
exactly. You think about all the stuff adults do,
Yeah.
right?
And I was an
So to
adult. I did it.
So to be like, oh, the 17-year-old should have had some self-control. Like, it's a lot of adults that don't have self-control. So it's like, don't put your expectations of how an adult should behave on a 17-year-old when adults can't even hold themselves to that same standard, So that's why it's like, I don't think he meant to do it. And I do feel
No.
like, he reacted to something. I'm assuming, because hopefully he didn't go over there looking for trouble. I'm assuming he didn't, but who
Yeah.
knows? But again, I still feel like this is being heavily publicized for ulterior, and it could be what that guy said on the video because elections are coming up, and
Yeah.
probably, but it's just you're just trying to cause division and create
Division.
chaos and stuff. Um, but yeah, I think we need to refocus on the Cyrus Belton case and
Absolutely.
ask if that one had an appeal because you ain't got but like 14 days, I think, or something like that
Mm.
to file the appeal. So what
Throat
happened
went
to that
out.
one? They
Throat
trying
went
to
out.
overshadow it with this one, and I think it's specifically because the person who was on trial is of a different ethnicity. That's why I think they're
Oh.
trying to overshadow that one. If it was a white person, I don't think they would have cared. I think they would have still let that one, fester and
Yeah.
again, because it's always the white versus black division. That's always the main division that they try to keep like
Uh-huh.
pressing in America. It's never, oh, black people versus Mexican people, white people versus Asian people. It's never that. It's always black versus white. So that's why it's like, oh, you let that one, you tried to cover that one up and send it off real quick so nobody focused on it, and then
Mm-hmm.
y'all know y'all got all these like protect the Asian people laws and stuff or whatever. Like, so it's like we ain't trying to get y'all riled up dealing with them. Focus, just be mad at the white people like y'all usually are. Like, what is that? Because that's what it feels like. That's what it looks like
Girl.
anyway.
Speaking of this, wait a minute, because you brought up Cyrus Belton and
Mm-hmm.
this video that you sent me. I'm gonna play this.
Oh, with that girl.
Yes, I'm about to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't show it on the screen because I'm using the different browser, but I'm going to play it through the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Play it. All right, let me turn it up. Okay.
Was innocent because they did the bait and switch. His son.
Oh shoot. Sorry.
And once you realize that Mr. Child really was innocent because they did the bait and switch, his son really killed that young man. And because the gun was registered to the father, he took the charge for first degree murder instead of manslaughter. We'll be a better community. Hear me out. It's the oldest trick in the book. Because you're not telling me, however old Mr. Child was, he wasn't chasing down no 14-year-old black boy. He was running for his life. With his adrenaline pumping, he was going to get away. But you know who did and could chase him down? Mr. Child's son. Why wasn't the ballistics ran on the son? You know why? Because the gun was registered to the father. And that was the story that they made up. Apparently, according to court documents, they were the only two witnesses. So, of course, they could say what they want. So, you mean tell me not a Ring camera was working? You mean tell me not a Wise camera was working? Not a camera was on that corner. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a Shell gas station. That was probably on that same corner, right? So, you telling me for over 100 yards, I'm going to say that 60-year-old plus man ran and chased down a 14-year-old black boy who was scared to death? Nope. Mr. Child's son did it. And I think there should be an investigation on the son. You can't recharge Mr. Child because that's what they was making on him. Because that's double jeopardy. However, no one questioned the son. No one tested the son's hand for gun residue. I'm nobody's attorney. But fuck, I should be. You know what else? How come they didn't put that to the test? How come they didn't put it to the test? How come they didn't set it up and had Mr. Child run 100 yards with his adrenaline pumping, chasing after that 14-year-old black boy? Do it again. If you did it once, you can do it again. Do a mock trial. I mean, the same exact way that they look for the biggest, strongest athletes for the NFL, the same way they look for the biggest, strongest athletes in the NBA, is the same way they should have tested him. Put his ass on the field. You can run down the street 100 yards, not winded, and still aim and shoot. No, here's how I think this went. Young man knew where his father gun was. He grabbed the gun. He chased the boy out the store. Because again, his back was turned. He was no longer a threat. And once your back is turned, now what is that? First degree. As soon as he left the store. And Maryland, we got a cool down period. So if you had enough time to think about it before you ran, you should have stopped. However, back to the situation. Young man knew where his father gun was, grabbed the gun, went after the young boy, chased him down, shot him. The father, even according to court documents, administered CPR. Now, if you stole from my store and I shot you, I'm not giving you CPR. It is what it is. However, they knew that the little boy didn't have nothing on him. On camera, he went through that boy's bag, he went through his hoodie. There was nothing there, and he still decided to pursue. Yeah, the son went after him. Even if Mr. Child started out running, because that's what it shows on the tape, that son caught up past the father with the gun, shot that boy. Go after the son. Because I'm not wrong. At all. And I may
You know what? I noticed that too.
be late to the party for this one. Yeah.
You notice what?
I noticed that too in the trial. They never really put the son on trial like a suspect because they both chased Cyrus Belton out of that store. Both of them did. And then I feel like I saw the surveillance footage where the father grabbed the gun and ran out of the store. That's what I think I saw. I have to watch the footage again. But I thought about that too. I'm like, why is the son not being, treated as a suspect? Because they both chased that boy down. You see how they just focused on one and not the other? I noticed that same exact thing.
Because this father probably lied for his son and was like, I shot him.
That's what
He
she's
probably-
saying.
Yes.
And that's something that a father probably would do that's trying to protect their son.
Rather than take $600,000 and then give your child a poor defense in court,
Girl, don't even
feed him
get
to
me
the system.
I'm
But
telling you, man.
But back to this one, because this one is, not to say more important, but this one is important as well. Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't even, because then this one I didn't really know much about the situation and stuff, and I just saw well, you told me about this one, and then after you said something, then I started seeing other posts and stuff about it. But yeah, I think she made a good point. Um, geez, she has a really good point. That man didn't chase that boy down, but they said, and I don't know how true it is, but they said that the man has shot other people before.
Yeah,
Is he the one
he
who been
did.
shooting people?
He did. He shot at a car of people because he accused them of stealing. And yeah, he had two other shootings prior to this.
And it would make sense if the son follows in his dad's footsteps, because this is what you do when people steal. You shoot at them.
Right. Yep.
Oh, did you see? I don't know if I sent it to you or not. It was a clip of, I guess, the son when he was in court, and the guy was asking him, "Did you feel threatened?" And he acted like he didn't understand the question. Did you see
Yes,
that?
I did. I did see that.
It was
I
some
saw that.
nonsense.
And
That was, I,
he,
girl.
he never directly answered the question either.
Eventually he kind of gave an answer, and then the attorney was like, he asked us a question after it, and he was like, do you understand that? He answered that one fine, but the main one, as far as like, did you feel threatened or
Hmm.
what, something,
Hmm.
however the question was, he
I
acted like he
guess they
couldn't
were
answer it.
asking they were asking him, was Cyrus running away from you?
Yes.
He acted like he didn't know whether the boy was running away, and clearly he was, because he took off running from the store. We saw the footage. They asked him, was Cyrus running away from you? He acted like he was confused and he didn't know. He said, well, he ran.
Yes, that was the question. And it was an easy question. So it's like
Mhm.
you're clearly hiding something, or
Yeah.
you're trying to avoid
Yes.
telling the truth is what you're
Evading.
doing. Yes,
Evading.
evading. And it's like the question was so direct. It wasn't open-ended. It was a very simple yes or no. And he chose to act like he couldn't understand a yes or no, very
Hmm.
direct, simple question. I was like, what is this? What was, because like I said, I didn't see much of the cases and stuff. I was like, is this what was going on in court? That's why I'm like,
Mm-mm.
how in the world did this case go the way that this case
Girl,
went?
I can't. I've been told by a judge before that I should have been an attorney. I think we would make a great defense team together.
Yeah. That was what I always said. I was like, oh, I was going to be a lawyer. And then, I mean, I am still interested in certain legal aspects or whatever, but girl, I probably wouldn't have the patience to do it. I'd probably get frustrated and stuff. Like, mm-mm, mm-mm. But yeah, because a witness like that, like, oh, you trying to test my patience here. Your Honor, can I treat this witness as a hostile witness? Clearly, he's evading the question. Matter of fact, we're filing charges against him too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought she had a great point. I was like, nobody, and she's the only person I heard say that. Maybe I
Mhm.
don't know if anybody else did or not, but I was like, oh my gosh, this probably is what it is. Because I didn't know he ran that far away from them.
Mhm.
I thought it was
Mhm.
like right in the same parking lot, like of their store.
Yeah. Yeah, they said he ran so hard that he ran out of one of his shoes came off.
Uh-huh.
And then they added that a gun came out of his pocket. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. But if he had a gun and he felt threatened, he chose to run. He could have, if that was the
Hmm.
case, he could have pulled the gun out and used it, but he didn't.
Yeah,
And he still got shot in the back.
that one makes no sense to me. Like this, what is it? This Karmelo Anthony, we don't know. We don't know what happened because
Right.
y'all got missing footage. This
Hmm.
person said this, these other people saying that. We don't really know what happened. What was anybody's intentions? Nobody knows. The whole internet got their theory and nobody was there. Like nobody was
Right.
there. We haven't heard from no witnesses. We haven't heard from Karmelo. We don't know what happened because I feel like I haven't heard like a full complete this is what had happened from anybody that
Hmm.
is like equipped to say what happened.
Hmm.
However, in this case, it's pretty much black and white. I don't know any state other than Florida, because Florida do what they want. But other
Hmm.
than Florida, where you can shoot, even Florida though, can you shoot anybody in the back anywhere and it not be murder or manslaughter, but murder? I think it's murder. I don't even think it's manslaughter, because you just can't do that. I saw somebody, this other guy said it. I said it the other day. I was like, even if someone breaks into your house, if they
Mm-hmm.
break in your house to rob your home and you
Mm-hmm.
find them in your house, if they decide to run out and you have the gun in your hand, you can't shoot them. If they're running for the door, you cannot shoot them in the back in your own house, because
Right.
you're gonna go to jail.
Oh
You're
yeah.
gonna
That
go to
that that
jail
is
for
that is
murder.
the law in a lot of states.
So
Yes.
I don't understand how in any situation you can, because you can't claim self-defense at that point, because they were no longer a threat. They were
He
trying to
wasn't even
escape.
on the property. He was
Right.
fleeing
I
for
didn't
his
know
life.
that. I thought they were still like in the parking lot of that
No.
store. I didn't know
No.
they had ran that far away.
Yeah.
So this is you chase somebody down to kill them. That's all
Yes.
that is at this point.
That's what that was. That was murder. And he got found not guilty.
But for whatever reason, the internet is more up in arms about the Karmelo thing. I mean, yeah, the
Right.
Karmelo thing
Right. It doesn't
than
make
somebody
sense.
being chased down to be killed.
Right. This
Because
is why it's
we'd rather y'all be outraged about, and nothing's gonna change, but we'd rather y'all be more outraged about, oh, the person who killed somebody and they got too
mm-hmm,
much time, than the
mm-hmm.
person who was chased down and murdered.
Right. That did
Like
not
this case is
that did,
a distraction from the other case.
it has to be, because when I first heard about Cyrus Belton, I didn't even know it took place. It happened in 2023. They just got through with the verdict the other day, and that's why I talked about it, because I could not believe that something like that actually took place when you
Mm-hmm.
have video evidence showing the boy running out of the store and you see the son and the father chasing after him. Then
Mm-hmm.
they admit to what they did and they shot him in the back. Then they come up with this fake false story saying, "Oh, he pulled out a gun." This is what they claim. He pulled out a gun. He brandished a firearm. If he brandished a firearm, how could you see the firearm if you shot him in the back?
Mm-hmm.
If a person is pulling out a, how are you seeing this and he's running from you?
Mm-hmm.
Did he turn
Mm-hmm.
around? But you shot him in the back. You didn't shoot him in the side. So the story doesn't even match, the forensic evidence doesn't match their story.
Yeah, because I don't know what video game they think people playing where you can be running away and shoot somebody at this. This ain't Call of Duty. What are they talking about? No,
Doesn't
you're
make
not
sense.
running away and trying to shoot back at somebody. Like, people don't watch too many movies, because that's what they try to make it sound like something unrealistic. But again,
But
like everybody
no.
said, the gun fell out of his pocket when he was running away, anyways. Allegedly, if he had one, because nobody
Okay.
knows that he actually
So
had
so
one.
so then I guess, see, it's too many conflicting stories, because if the gun fell out of his pocket while he was running, he couldn't have pulled out a gun and shot, unless they're saying that after he got shot, then the gun fell. I don't know. I
I
don't
have
know.
questions about the gun. Who was the gun registered to?
I don't know.
Was it a dirty gun?
I don't
Well, how
know.
do we know that the only two witnesses didn't place the dirty gun there?
Girl, it's the fact that you can chase somebody down after they are leaving your premises all the way 100 yards down, shoot them in the back, and then get off. That's enough right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
enough right there. And
But
people need
nobody,
to, like you said, people need to be giving funds to Cyrus Belton's parents.
nobody's focused on that case. We focused on Carmelo Anthony and his parents. Mm.
Girl, the youth, man, I just, our melanated boys out here, please just keep them in the utmost prayers and high
Mm-hmm.
regard, because it's just, I don't even know what to say.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I feel like I'd be so uh like I'm protective with them, because even when we're just out, it's like, luckily in a way it's a good thing, but at the same time it's like I want them to venture off. But like, they stick close to me, and I'm not mad at it. Sometimes they be in my way a little bit, but they stick close, and it's like, better you stick close, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so don't nobody come and accuse you of
right.
anything. And I mean, I would, it'd be doubtful, but you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like you said, it goes back to the upbringing, it goes back to
Mm-hmm.
what they're exposed to. It's just all of that. All of that plays a major, major role in their decision making and stuff. So,
Yeah.
all you can do is do your best and, go from there. But I don't know. It's interesting, girl. It's just, girl,
Yeah. But I
I
it's
feel,
just go
feel
ahead.
like Puff.
Sorry.
I feel like Puffy right
Uh-oh.
now.
Don't you dare.
The cooning and buffooning. You. Let me stop. They talking. They talking.
But yeah, but and it's it's frustrating because it's like people are just so blind to see that like this stuff is on purpose. Like this, it's on purpose. The intent is for y'all to do what y'all are doing, to be divided and going at each other. And it's not just because it's not strictly white versus black. Because I've seen black people on the white people side, white people on the black people side, but it's still division regardless.
Divide and
So
conquer.
and it's like yeah, and it's like every time it happens every time, and people fail to realize it's like
Mm-hmm.
this not to say it doesn't affect you because some of the stuff doesn't, some of the stuff does on a bigger scale, like but this
Mm-hmm.
comes down to the judicial system, which has been broken for since its existence. Probably it's not new. It's nothing
Right.
new. So the whole let's go out and protest and march and this and that, like all right, well, that doesn't do anything, obviously. So you still got to figure out how to fix the system in a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's never going to happen because we can't unite as a
Hmm.
whole, anyways.
Tell you
So, like,
what.
the
I tell
go
you
ahead.
what. So everybody's talking about they're going to boycott these Asian spots, right?
Hmm.
Now, the number one way that you know that melanated people know how to boycott is because they boycott each other. They definitely know how to boycott. They will boycott each other. You let a melanated person have a business and watch
Hmm.
how many melanated people won't support them. They
Hmm.
definitely know how to boycott now. So let's not act like they can't, they don't know how, they won't do it. No, they boycott one another. That's another reason why we don't prosper.
Yeah, because it's a like this inability to unite for the great, like a bigger purpose. The bigger purpose is never seen. It's the lack of organization. It's many things, unfortunately. But it's just like, all right, just get out the street and stop, being just emotional and like
Yeah.
come up with a plan. Because doing being emotional doesn't get anything done. Like it just doesn't fix anything. um this Carmelo is still gonna, nothing's gonna change. Like even if this goes through to the appeals court, they're not changing the sentence. I think this is locked in. What do you
Mm,
think?
Man, I just if he does have a fighting chance to appeal this, they need to get a really good lawyer that is going to make the arguments, that he did not have a proper trial and that his attorney did not do his due diligence to represent him at the best of his abilities. They're going to have to prove it and leave no type of doubt whatsoever that, that's the case. Because if not, they're going to easily seal this case with 35 years and they're not going to think twice about it.
Hmm.
And it's really sad that you have to fight this hard being a melanated person to get justice. Now, with the Cyrus Belton thing, I think they're talking about appealing as well. I don't
Okay,
know how,
good.
yeah, I don't know. Well, not appealing, but they're thinking the attorney is talking about filing a civil suit against Mr. Chow.
That's cool, but I still feel like someone needs to be
Hmm.
um held responsible criminally.
Yeah. And I feel like the son should have been treated as a suspect in that case. And I'm not sure why he wasn't, because, like I said, he was just as responsible for chasing that boy down as well.
I
So,
mean,
why?
is it too late to try him? Because I guess if they're solely saying that it was the dad, the son isn't a suspect. Like, can the son be considered a suspect or no? Because we've already decided it was the dad, and the dad acted in self-defense. So case closed. there is no other suspect because he did it, but he just wasn't guilty of murder, right? Like, so it might be too late to even bother with the son if that were.
I don't know, but if it were me, I definitely would have. I would have argued to have that son tried as well as a
Once
suspect.
again, how many people, like, well, I guess that's the state, right? That's the state acting as the prosecution, the state versus. Ah, you know, I don't know. Yeah, these courts, woof, it's rough. And
And
where was the Cyrus? But that was in Maryland, or was that in Louisiana?
where did that happen? Let me look it up real quickly because
I
I'm not.
felt like it was Louisiana, but I'm not sure. Or maybe it was Maryland.
South Carolina girl.
Oh, that's right. It was South Carolina because I was like, probably shouldn't move to South Carolina. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is some freaking mess. South freaking
Mm-hmm.
Carolina girl. This
Yeah.
is crazy.
And see, and that's another thing too, right? Like all of these keep happening in these southern states. That's why it's like it's to me, it is intentional to try to like provoke because the South is where not to say
Hmm.
where majority racism is wherever racism is,
Hmm.
but it has such a strong history in the South, and
Yep.
the black people in the South are well aware of it.
Hmm.
And so it's like you're trying to provoke the people in these southern states. You don't really see, well, you do, but it doesn't get as much attention when you have like Midwestern states or
Hmm.
northern states and it's something with police, brutality or racial stuff. It doesn't seem like it is the same amount of outrage as when it happens in the South, from my observation. Because I always
Hmm.
go back to the Sean Bell situation, and it was
Hmm.
you had the Philando Castile, wherever that was. Like it was like it was for a second and then it immediately
Yeah.
it quickly
It
went
it
away.
dissipated, right. But it
Mm-hmm.
keeps being a reoccurring theme. You notice that, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, and it does seem to be very prevalent in the hotter months and the hotter season.
Mm-hmm.
George
Mm-hmm.
Floyd, remember that happened what
Yep.
in May of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yep.
So
And
it's
that one was,
everywhere.
I think that was a whole, because that was not in the South, like that was Midwest or whatever, but that was, I don't even know what the intention was there, but that was definitely something.
It was definitely an agenda behind it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully there's no other cases. And I hope a lot, like the public will divert their attention back to the other case and just kind of like just chill out because it's not to say it's not that serious, but it's like just chill out, y'all, because y'all what are we doing? Everybody on the internet mad. Like everybody's on the internet mad. It's like calm down.
But my thing is, if you are so mad, use that anger towards something that's going to count.
Hmm. Did you
Do
see
take.
the
Uh-huh.
did you see the clip with the black lady and she was like, what do y'all want us to do? She was like, I got 5 boys. Did you see that, the lady?
Nah, girl.
That clip has been everywhere. You're gonna see it. I'll make sure I send it to you.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like after the verdict or whatever, and it was a bunch of people, kind of outside and protesting
Hmm.
or whatever. And I don't know why they picked this lady, but she was
Oh
like,
God.
I don't know what y'all want us to do. I got 5 boys. They can't fight back and they can't run away. And then it cuts off, and everybody's been responding to her.
Hmm.
I don't know what y'all want to. What are they supposed to do or whatever? And she
Hmm.
was like, tell them don't, like most people are responding and saying, tell them not to stab people or whatever. Like,
Mm.
I. But yeah.
I get what you're saying, but also too, I was watching another channel and he was saying that kind of like what you were saying. They want our attention. They
Mhm.
want to feed it energy, and
Mhm.
energetically, they need us to pay attention to this stuff because for whatever reason, and we
I
have
agree.
I mean, we definitely have to be diligent and know, the consequences of what can happen out here, but we also have to have our own discernment and say, you know what, we got to do things to lead our own lives. We can't just be
Yep.
fully focused on the narratives that they're painting because some of this stuff is constructed, not all of it, but it is used for another narrative. It's used for some type of agenda. So just we got
Spiritual
to.
warfare.
Hmm. Definitely. Definitely.
I
Again,
agree.
girl, we've been on here for about an hour and 49 minutes. I don't want to
Oh,
keep
it
too.
went by quick.
Yeah, but you know you're an awesome guest. Oh gosh, I think people really enjoy having you here. So yeah, make sure y'all give this video a like. Do you have any social media platforms that you wish to share with the audience?
I guess they can check out uh his and hers tactical coming soon. The
Okay.
platform is there. Videos coming soon.
Okay, his and hers tactical. His and hers. Let me type
Hmm.
that in the chat section. His. Do you spell and or is it the symbol?
And spelt out.
Okay, and hers tactical. Okay. All right, and is that on Instagram or YouTube? Or
Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
okay, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Check out his and hers tactical, y'all. They have some. You said you have some content coming out real soon.
Yep, content coming soon. That's
Okay,
right.
okay,
Second
okay. Well,
Amendment, y'all.
I know that's right. I'm gonna tune into that. Yeah, I look forward to the content. Well, it was a pleasure having you here. Any closing words before we depart?
Well, yes, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to join you on a F Your Feelings Friday. And just tell the world to, just again, like I always like to tell people, keep your peace. Try to keep find your peace. Don't let the outside world just bombard you emotionally or interrupt like any peacefulness. Because, like you said, we still have our day-to-day lives that we have to deal with our own problems, our own stress,
Right.
and just living our day-to-day lives. So I know I've been disconnecting periodically from social media more and more. I don't really watch the news anyways, but if you need to disconnect from your phone, Facebook, I'm not getting on Instagram today because it can be overwhelming and it,
Yeah.
it can just be a lot, and especially like emotionally and
Yeah.
mentally, because we're not meant to deal with the world's problems. Like
Mm-mm.
before there was internet, you dealt with your life and that was about it. Maybe family and
Yep.
friends a little bit, but you're literally taking on just whatever is going on across the
Yeah.
entire world at this point from the palm of your hand and your phone. So just make sure you keep your peace and boundaries up for things that that might steal your positivity and try to keep the negativity out. Those are my
Okay.
words.
I think that was so well stated. My sentiments as well. I'm just gonna leave your words with the closing because I think that you ended that perfectly. And did you have be loquacious? Did you have any thing like I know you had your little podcast thing going. Are you still doing that or no?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I thought about bringing it back. I got to figure some things out. um, but
Okay.
if I do, I will definitely let you and your audience know for sure if I pop back up with something again.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna go ahead and sign on out of here. And thank you so much again, Miss Gold Sugar. Hopefully, I can have the nephews to come back up here, the Golden Child and the Tager. And, we can talk about some of these things coming from an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old's perspective, because I think it's so insightful to hear what young melanated boys think about some of these things. But like you said, they're so passive and they're so non-confrontational that they'll probably
It's,
just be
I think he's
like,
12, right?
oh, I'm sorry. Oh gosh.
I
You
had to
know
think
what?
about it.
Don't judge me, y'all. They're growing up
I,
so fast.
I sat here and thought about it though. I was like, is he 12 or is he
I
11?
look. I promise. I was there when every last one of them were born. I was there.
I sat here and thought, you see how long it took me to say something? Because I was like,
Oh
is
my
he 11?
god!
Had to
I think
subtract
it's
from
12.
the oldest.
Y'all. Well, look. Don't judge me.
Oh
But
no.
anyway, my love is there with you all.
All
All
right.
right,
Good
y'all.
night.
Good night. We're gonna sign on out of here. Everybody have a good night. Haben Sie alles einen guten Nacht. We're signing out. Until next time, you all walk in your divinity, celebrate yourself, and stay blessed out here. Or stay elevated, excuse me. Stay elevated and stay safe, y'all. Until next time. Share the video, like the video, hype the video, and subscribe.